Hi, I'm Holly Pike. If you'd like a trial of the Generation software that I use for digitizing, please visit trygenerations.com. This video is a recording of a live video I did for my previous students. You may hear references to You Can Digitize or YCD. That's my old website that is now closed. My new website is digitizingschool.com. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. With the complex fill, or it's called complex fill or freehand area tool. We've been using the freehand area tool. It's kind of an interchangeable term, just like there are lots of names for the satin tool. Okay, to do this, I need everybody's hands up and I need you paying attention, okay? Gosh, I sounded like a school teacher there. Okay, I'm going to go to Insert Image. We've been here already today. And let's pick the apple. The same screen opens up for bringing in a piece of artwork, and we're going to use Image as Template just like we did before, and Resize after inserting is checked. We're not changing anything else other than choosing Image as Template, and say OK. The size box comes up again, and remember, we're trying to keep it, for now, for this class, in the 100 by 100 hoop. So I'm going to highlight the larger number and make that say 90. I'll hit my Tab key and it automatically changes it for me and say OK. And there's my artwork. Well, the artwork is a little bit light and a little bit faded. Not going to be a problem for digitizing, but if you want it to be darker, you can hold your Shift key on your keyboard and press the plus sign until it darkens up. It doesn't bother me the other way, but I darkened it for you guys. Okay, so let's talk about this. You basically have all the tools you need to do this design because we're going to do it in a simple fashion. We're not going to do a fancy thing. We're going to do it in a simple fashion. But we have some decisions to make. And here are the decisions. We need to work from back to front. That's how digitizing works. We work from back to front in the artwork. So what is the furthest back in our design? I would say the stem is the furthest back. It's behind the leaf and it's kind of behind the apple. I would do the apple next, and then I would do the leaf. And we're going to create a void underneath here, and possibly here. We'll see how it works out. We're only using the complex fill tool or the create a freehand area tool. We're only using that one tool. So this normally would be maybe a satin stitch, and so would the leaf. But I just want you to make shapes. I just want to do shapes and have you have something for it in the end, not just a bunch of squares and circles. Okay? So we're going to do the stem first, then the apple, then the leaf. We're going to create a void underneath here and possibly here so we don't have multiple layers of overlap. Are there any questions? I'll make a recommendation to you that when you begin digitizing, that you print this artwork out. You print it out and have it in front of you and do what I did. Take a pen or a couple different colored pens and say, okay, it's going to go 1, 2, 3. That's the order I'm going to stitch it in, or I'm going to design it in. Okay, what do I want to do for stitches? I want to do this in this type of stitch. I want this in this type of stitch, and I want this in this type of stitch. Do I want shading, which will come later? Then you might add that. But begin planning your designs out because you'll have less work to do at the end if you digitize them in the manner that you wish them to stitch out, rather than saying, well, I'll do the big apple first, and then I'll do the leaf, and then I'll do the stem. Then you have to be moving things about. Digitize them in the manner that they're going to stitch in the first place, and you'll have way better luck with your stitch outs and the final product. Okay, you're still watching and paying attention. I'm going to digitize this design for you while you watch and talk to you step by step so that you see exactly what you need to do. Okay? And then I'll walk you through it just like I did the other things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go choose a color. I like to work in color. If it doesn't matter to you, then just work in that blue and change your colors later. I like to work in color because visually, I'm very, very visual. So I'm kind of that side of my brain. Then I'm going to go up to 400 and scroll to my starting spot. When I get to my starting spot, I'm going to take my freehand area tool. I'll start with a left click and just follow. You're going to have to kind of pretend here and follow your way through there. When I get here, I'm going to use some right clicks, and I'm using some right clicks because it's curved. I get here, I'll double right click, and there is my stem. Guys, it's just that easy. I know you're saying no way, but it's just that easy. It really is. Okay, I'm going to go over here and pick a red that I like. Remember, you're working for yourself, you're not working for anybody else, so what anybody else thinks doesn't matter. I'm going to pick up my area tool again. I'm going to start right here. Now here's where it's critical. I want to overlap this. So if you can see how much I overlap that, about 1 millimeter. How do I know that's 1 millimeter? Because I always work at 400 zoom magnification, and I have learned what 1 millimeter is. You will learn. You will learn. Give yourself time to learn. Now with right clicks, I'm just going to follow my way around this. Don't worry about the lines getting thicker or thinner. Just follow the red part. Doesn't have to be perfect because guess what? When we delete the artwork, nobody's going to know anything. Nobody's going to know anything. When I get here, I'm going to double click, and there's my apple. You can see it right there. Okay, I'll escape to drop my tool. Go over here and pick a green that I like. Oops, I turned my apple green. Now, why did the apple turn green? The apple turned green because I did not right-click outside of my area. So I'm going to undo, right-click out here, and start again. Pick my green, pick up my tool. I'm going to turn off my 3D view. Why? I'm turning off my 3D view so I can see underneath here. Otherwise, I can't see where I'm going. Turn off 3D view. Start right about here. It doesn't matter where you start. We can change it. Using my right clicks, left click up here. Why? It's a point. And with a double left click. Hit escape. Right click outside of my area. And here's my design. Pretty easy, huh? This stuff is not hard. Okay, let's create a void underneath the leaf. Why am I creating a void underneath the leaf? Because this is 2 layers of 0.5 density. That's not a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to right click to make the highlight around the piece that I want the void created into. Let me say that again in Portuguese. I'm going to right click on the piece that I want the void created into. So that would be the stem. View outline icon, right click, create a void using an existing area. My cursor changes to a hand. I'm going to come over here, see it highlight in red, left click, escape, and generate. Now look at what happened. We have a perfect void that will stitch perfectly every time. Okay, let's look at our stitch angles. What I do is I'll put my finger on my screen in the direction that that wand is going. Let me show you. If my stitch direction is going this way, I'm going to put my finger on the screen pointing this way. And then I'm going to click on the next one, and I'm going to see what stitch direction that is. Is it the same or different? If it's different, I'm probably going to leave it alone. If it's the same, I'm going to change it. But this helps me remember on my screen what my stitch angle is for the first piece. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so now my finger's on my screen. I still do this, guys. I'm going to click on the stem. Now if you remember what my stitch angle was over here, this one's different. Okay, now I'm going to click on this one. I've got my finger on the screen for this one. I know this one's different. Let's look at this one. These are pretty close. So let's just change that stitch angle a little bit. Okay, I'm good. I'm ready to stitch this. It's very simple. It's a very simple design, but Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, it took a while to build Rome. We need to start with slow, easy steps. Okay, are you ready? We're going to do this. I'm going to delete mine. I'm going to delete this. We're going to start at the beginning. Here we go. Insert image. Navigate to your artwork, or maybe it opens up to it. Choose the apple with a double click. We get the image processing box. Images template, the fourth one down. Everything else stays the same. Click OK. Check the numbers. You may not be able to see the numbers on my screen. Take the biggest one, highlight it, type in 90. After you type in 90, hit your tab key on your computer. Notice it changes because maintain aspect ratio is checked. Leave that checked. After the number changes, click OK, and there's your artwork. If you want it darker, hold your Shift key and press the plus until it darkens up for you. I'm going to wait a minute. Any questions? Okay, let's move on. Going to evaluate your design. Left click outside. You're going to evaluate your design. We know that the stem has to go first based on what I just taught you. So let's go to 400. Scroll up so you can see your stem. Go pick a color that you want. Excuse me. Freehand area tool. Always start with a left click. Now you got a bunch of right clicks coming right down. Left click down there. Double click at the end. Okay. Hit escape. Right click outside of your design area. And you can use this box now to get to where you want to be. I'm going to click on my color chip and choose red. Shift key plus you like. Okay, cool. Okay, we've got red chosen. Freehand area tool. I'm going to start right here. And notice I'm starting just above that brown. Just above the brown. I want to overlap the brown. I want to overlap the brown just a little bit. With right clicks, Doesn't have to be perfect. Notice I'm not perfect. It's not perfect. It's okay. The thing you have to get over right away is I didn't get it perfect, because it doesn't matter. Get it as perfect as you can get it. I have a definition of perfect for you here. Double click when you get to the end. A gentleman that I watch on YouTube for a hobby that I'm starting says to me, perfect doesn't mean without mistakes. It means to the best of your ability. Let me say that again in Greek. Perfect doesn't mean without mistakes. It means to the best of your ability. Okay? So do this to the best of your ability. When you get the apple done, hit Escape. Right-click outside of your design. Why? Because we want to change colors, and I don't want to turn my apple green. Even though I like green apples, I don't want to turn it green. Okay, I'm going to change my color again right here and pick, don't really like any of these greens, but I'll pick that one and say okay. Now I generally work in 3D mode, but because I can't see this leaf, I'm going to turn 3D mode off. I'm just going to left click on it. Pick up my area tool, start somewhere on the leaf, left click at the tip, double click at the end. Hit Escape, right click outside your design area. Okay, if you did that, high five, because that's awesome. That's awesome. Going from not knowing the software or anything about the software to that point is a very, very big deal. It's a very big deal, and congratulations. It's exciting for me because budding digitizers are always really fun, new digitizers. And I'm always looking for people for my team, so it's really exciting for me to see people get it. So, did you make it? Type in, I did it. And high five. High five, guys. High five. When you get this far, and I know that y'all are with me, then we'll do the creative void part for the leaf. Unless you've already done it, and if you have, good for you. Hey, Denise, good for you that you did it. Pretty can be later. Just getting it done and getting the concept. Remember, guys, we're developing tools to put in our tool belt. It's not going to be perfect by any means the first time you do it. But if you got something that sort of resembles an apple with a stem and a leaf, I'm proud of you. Because it took me months. It took me 6 months trying to learn the software on my own because there was no one teaching it, to do one design. So when people ask me, how long did it take you to do your first design? I say 6 months and 1 hour. It's okay. It's okay. I don't care what it looks like on your screen. If you got something that resembles this, you did good. Okay, I'm going to do the creative void with you right now. Ready? Okay. You're going to right-click on the stem, because the stem is the part that you want the void created into. View outline icon. Right-click on the gray. Create a void using an existing area. Your cursor changes to a hand. Move over the leaf, it should turn pink or red, the outline, and left click. Escape and generate, and you're there. Well done. Well done. This completes creating your first design with the freehand area tool.